want to come up here and join me?
Well, good morning. Good morning. As Stephen mentioned earlier, I have the pleasure this morning of sharing a godly play story with you. Before I started, though, I wanted to give you a little godly play 101. Just to explain a little bit. Godly play was developed in the 1970s by an Episcopal priest named Jerome Berryman. And he worked, mainly his ministry was with children in hospitals. And he would go into the big children's hospital in Houston and tell these stories. And he found when he would tell stories and have what he called visual pieces to tell the story, it added an extra dimension for the children and their families to connect with the story and really to understand the story in a new way. Jerome firmly believes that we are all born with the gift of having a spiritual self. And throughout our lifetime, we learn the language to express that self. And it's a continuous journey. It's not something you learn at a certain age, and hopefully you learn it your entire life. So, as Stephen mentioned earlier, godly play are stories that we often tell with children, but I find they're just as effective with adults. In fact, as a storyteller, when I get to tell the stories, I learn more about these stories that I've heard many, many times. But it gives you a time to sort of ask questions that you might not have asked for a while, and to sort of wonder and think about stories in a way you haven't thought about before. So this morning, I'm going to share a story with you, but before I do, for those of you sort of on the outsides of the aisle, I'm going to be telling the story right here in our main aisle, right in the midst of us. So if you can't see this part, you might want to stand up and sort of go to the back or sort of come in a little bit. Godly Play style is actually down on the floor. We usually sit in a circle. We won't do that this morning, but the story will be told down this main aisle. So if you want to move around, you're welcome to do that. And the last part, as Stephen mentioned as well, I'm going to tell the story, which is our gospel story today, carried from the Gospel of Luke. And after I tell the story, we'll do what we call wondering questions, which I will actually say, I wonder. And this is a chance for you to share. The kids are all well-versed in this. We've been doing this for several years with them, but you also are welcome to join in. I think that's it. I think we're ready to start. So parables are something that was given to us. It's actually a gift. Given even before we were born, even before our grandparents were born. In fact, they were given to us more than 2,000 years ago. They're a very special thing. Because sometimes you come to a parable, and even if you're ready, it won't open for you. And you can come to a parable many times, and you'll hear that parable different. Even if you've heard it before, it'll sound a little different to you depending on how you're listening. Parables are also very special. You can tell they're gold, and something that's a very special prized thing. I think there's some things in here that might get us ready for this parable. A lot of black, kind of dark. I'm going to start it right up here next to our table, where we all gather together. Let's see. All right. This might stretch. I wonder if this will go all the way to the back. It's sort of like a piece that connects all of us. Wow, it almost will go all the way to the door. you can see light for these. Here's another one. Not exactly the same shape. Still is very dark. Let's see. I think there's two more things here. Here's our first. This is the city of Jerusalem. This will go up here, the top of our long plaque. Oh, I know. It must be a road. So Jerusalem is at one end of the road, and the city of Jericho, the great wall around it, is at the other end. This must have taken a long time to travel from Jerusalem to Jericho. Those might be all the pieces that we need for this day. There was once someone who said such amazing things and did such wonderful acts that people had to follow him. And he would tell them wonderful stories. Sometimes they had so many questions. The questions just bubbled out. One of the listeners asked him, "What is the most important thing in life?" And he answered, "I think you know." The listener said, "Well, to love God and to love your neighbor as yourself." But who is my neighbor? So in reply, he told him this story. There was once a man who was traveling on the road from Jerusalem down to Jericho. And he came to a part of the road, and two robbers attacked him. They hurt him. They took everything that he had. And then they left him by the side of the road, half dead. Later that day, there was someone who also was traveling down that road. He was a very important person. He was one of the high priests in Jerusalem. Everyone knew who he was. And he was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho on the road. Well, he got to the part of the road where the man was, the one who had been hurt. Everything had been taken from him, and he had been left half dead. And the high priest went to the other side of the road and passed him. and finished his journey to Jericho. There was another traveler on the road that day. He was someone who also worked in the temple. He wasn't a priest, but he helped the priest. He helped in the worship services. He did the music. He was called a Levite. And he was traveling on the road from Jerusalem down to Jericho. He also came upon a man who had been hurt, who everything had been taken from, and had been left half dead by the side of the road. He crossed to the other side of the road and passed by him and finished his journey down to Jericho. Later that day, probably almost dark, there was a third traveler down the road. This was someone who wasn't from Jerusalem. In fact, he was from a different place called Samaria. Now, people in Jerusalem did not like the people in Samaria. And the people in Samaria did not like the people in Jerusalem. So he was really a stranger in this land, traveling on this road from Jerusalem to Jericho. He came upon the spot where the man was, the one who had been hurt, the one who everything had been taken from, the one who was half dead. And he went to the man. He put medicine on his wounds. He gave him a coat to wear. He even put the man on his donkey. And carefully he took him to an inn. And there, he took care of him during the night. In the morning, when the stranger had to leave, he left money. He left money and instructions for the innkeeper to take care of him, the man who had been hurt. Now I wonder, who was the neighbor to this man, the one who had been hurt on the road? The Samaritan, the last man who traveled down the road, the stranger. I wonder who was a neighbor to the robbers? The priest? Neighbors for the priest or the Levite from the temple. Stephen, you think that our man who got injured would have been their neighbors? I wonder, who was the Samaritan? children instead of adults with the story. I wonder if there's someone else in the story that could have been a neighbor. Innkeeper. We didn't ask about who was the innkeeper's neighbor. Oh, yeah. Jesus would have been the innkeeper's neighbor. Say that one more time. So the stranger that went down the road from Samaria, maybe he was the neighbor for the innkeeper? I wonder who are our neighbors? People at school. Sometimes we actually go with our next door neighbors to school, don't we? What about people you see in the grocery store? People you see running down the street to exercise every morning? What about the people you don't know? I think there's a lot of people we don't know that are neighbors. Strangers. Can strangers be your neighbor? Wonder what Jesus would tell us to do. Treat your neighbor as yourself. That's what we heard in the very beginning of the parable, wasn't it? Can you think of anyone else who might be your neighbor? Your family as your neighbor. There's an idea. Boy, that kind of asks a lot of us, doesn't it, Grace? Stephen. Your animals? That's it? Oh. Well, then if you think of animals, then you can sort of think of all of God's animals too, right? All of creation. Boy, that's a lot of neighbors. Yeah. And what about when we go other places? So I wonder if we were like the Samaritan that was traveling in a different place, then who would be our neighbor? It wouldn't be our friends, right? Because they wouldn't be with us. Stephen, who would be our neighbor? So if we were traveling somewhere else, then maybe people that were walking past us would be our neighbors? Because they're right next to you. So they're sort of physically in your space or in your area. Now what are we going to say? Oh, a map would be your neighbor. That's definitely a helpful tool, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. Yes, I know. We have GPS. I like maps. I know what I'm saying. But that could be a neighbor is often someone who helps you, right? So a map is your neighbor. Thank you all for joining me for this story. Welcome back.